Hello everyone and welcome to a very special episode of Fight Chat Friday. This week our guest needs absolutely no introduction in the world of ITF Taekwondo or indeed Wacko Kickboxing. We have with us Master Tomaž Barada, many times European World Champion and also King of Taekwondo and Wacko Pro World Champion and Wacko World Champion. So super athlete, very famous and very renowned coach, and an absolute pleasure to talk to Master Barada today. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm happy that I can join this because I really have to say right away in the beginning that you guys do a great job. I mean, keep us alive. I mean, tell us the youngers what we did before and just discuss about those things a little bit that you did not forget us all. So it's really congratulations for the job what you do.
Thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you. So we know that we have a lot of people joined in today, so people are very excited to see your clips and to hear what you have to say. So I know people that are joined in may want to ask some questions as well. So if you do want to ask questions, put them in the chat box and we'll have some time at the end to ask some questions as well. So that would be really good.
Absolutely. And I suppose the very first thing we might start with is a little bit of background for yourself, Master Barada. So when did you start training? When did you start competing in ITF Taekwondo?
Yeah, Taekwondo was not my first sport. I started with gymnastics when I was 6 years old. And then because of situation which I had at home, so I was living without parents and I was living by my aunt, and that had only the gymnastic and skiing. So I was only able to train there. That was in a small farm. And when I moved to my home city where my parents were living and my sister, that was in 86, 86. So then I just went to one gym and where they train Taekwondo. I mean Taekwondo. Let's call it like that because we had not really Taekwondo gym, Taekwondo school. So they said it's Taekwondo, but we did all mixed with a little bit karate, a little bit WT, a little bit ITF. So I started training there in '85, and that was my beginning.
Do you think that the gymnastics really helped your Taekwondo and your ability to kick well and your strength and things like that?
I need to say that gymnastics is for me one of the best beginning sport. I mean, the things that you get by gymnastics is useful for all the other sports. Also, if I honestly say, that was also my idea that I pushed my daughter, both of them, Tyra and Tiara, that they start to train with gymnastics. So first I really pushed Tyra, yeah, you need to go to gymnastics and you want to come to the gym, but I said it's too early and it was not too long away from the gym, and she came to us, and I can say also for her it was really useful playing gymnastics before. So with the experience that we had, I can say gymnastics is one of the basic sport that continuing.
So with that background, coming from the gymnastics and then coming into Taekwondo, when did you enter your first competitions?
Yeah, first competition. I was going quite fast, because if I honestly say, when I came to the gym and I started to train, for me the things was going quite fast because I was quite flexible. I had a good feeling, and in my heart I was a fighter. I always want to fight. I didn't know what means the step back. So they said to me right away, yeah, just go to try and fight. So I did at that time also some WT tournament. I even didn't know the rules. So I remember I went to Germany in 86, 87, and I have to fight the WT. I even didn't know the rules, so I came there and right away the action started. I make right away the punch to the face. So it was quite hard when everybody looked to me. So I started let's say in 86. Yeah.
You mentioned there that you're always a fighter. Is that kind of your style, that you like to describe your sparring style as a fighter?
Yeah, I always was a person that I always feel like I like to see the fight. I never like to go back. For me, it's always the point that you can move forward, you can move sideways, but I don't like to see the fighters who move backward. You can make a small slide back, but then you go back in. So more the fighter that goes forward. I like more action than the technique.
And I guess back then it was a lot more action. What we can see in some of your clips is it was a lot more action when you were competing compared to when they're like for right now. The referees almost stop it if there's a little bit of action, and you can't continue with more shots and combinations as much.
Yeah, I can say that at the time, let's say if it was my first World Championship in 1990, that we didn't know about the minus points. I mean, it was action all the time. They did not stop so many times. We didn't both so many times. It was just more fighting, more action. Honestly, I liked it much more. I cannot say that on sparring now. It was not so much tactic as it is now. So now sometimes I'm a little bit sad when I see the fights that they are deciding with the fights, with the warnings, with the stopping, with the exits and stuff like that. So that I don't like so much, but okay, the time is going on. They change the rules.
Yeah, I think we have a nice example here of, I don't think this kind of action is possible now, in the modern age. I think, your opponent, he's going to be stopped. There's going to be a warning for traveling, or the referee will decide, to protect one fighter or the other. Maybe we'll stop now. So it's difficult to have the momentum that you get here. So you can build up some momentum and create lots of scoring opportunities when it's let go just a little bit.
Yeah, first of all, I need to say that I'm really pleased that I see all those fights, because I don't have this kind of stuff.
You probably have better stuff, though.
No, but I mean, all the things that I saw from you now on the Instagram or the Facebook, whatever, I don't have it. I mean, I just see over the YouTube. I didn't make even one of them. It's all of them done from some other people. Yeah, but
I think though that's the highest compliment in itself, because back then there's no phones. There's like an old camera, and it's a big effort to put it on YouTube. So the fact there's so many videos of you shows that your style was exciting and people wanted to watch you a lot.
Thank you.
Oh, for sure.
But go back to the question. Yes, I really can say that time was, it was more the game. It was more not so much tactical way. You need to show also your let's say physical possibility, and you could show more. It's not more like a chess now. We play like I give you a small piece that I can take another piece. It was more action,
Yeah, like I think as well though, when there is more action, the fighter who is the best fighter will end up winning in the end, because they have more opportunities to show the real action, and then they will get on top. Exactly. But the only thing with that is you need to have the cardio and you need to have the conditioning. And I think for you, that was a big part of your game. You never see you ever tired. You're always fit. You're always ready, always prepared. Was that one of the most important things you had in terms of a mental perspective and also in your physical training?
Also when I look now back to myself, and also now when I look as a trainer or coach, whatever, I always say to all my students, I will never be sad or unhappy when I see that you lose and you give your heart at it. You was physically prepared enough. When somebody's tactically better, technically better, you just have to give him a hand. We have to continue training, but they're physically not strong enough. If you lost because you can't do the things anymore in the end of the fight, please don't come back to my gym, because you don't deserve to be in my gym. And that is really the words that I always say. And also I say a lot of times, the easiest is if you go to one restaurant, pick up 10 people and say, can you punch me? All of them can punch. But then you take another 10 people out, and you can ask, can I punch you? If they will handle the punch. That's another question. Not many of them.
Very different.
Yeah, so I always say to my students, it's like the easiest thing is to punch. More difficult is to handle the punch, and even more difficult to be able to train and fight all the time which you have in the fight.
So we're starting to understand the Barada philosophy here, I think. So so the first thing is you must be physically prepared to to impose yourself in the match for the full 4 minutes or however long. If it's 3 rounds, it's 3 rounds. But then, how do you like to put that across in the ring? So when you were thinking of yourself as a fighter, how did you like to impose yourself on the fight? What were what's the first thing you want to do in the match?
No, for me, it was like if I talk in the moment when I start to fight and so on, I feel myself like that time in the beginning. I was like a pit bull, I was like just waiting that they let me down, that I can go to fight. Later on, when I fight more and more, I get also a little bit the idea in my head that it's not only the fighting, that is not important to kick and punch, but it's also important not to be hit. So it's important that you're able to make a kick, but not get a kick back, So then I start to think a little bit also more, understand the game a bit more. But still, my idea behind everything, it is always that all the things that you can do, don't miss it. So don't miss the physical preparation. Don't miss any training, because all training what you miss in your life, you will miss once, will miss much. And also you need to be prepared on everything. Because always I try to train. I say always to my students, like, if you feel bad, don't think you don't have to train, because this can also happen in the time when you're on the World Championship. And also, if you look now that we have maybe many fights, let's say you have 5 fights a day, or maybe even 6 fights a day, and it can happen that in the first round you get, I don't know, some problem with the left leg, and then you're not able to kick anymore with the left. And then you can say, what now? So I stop the tournament, or I go on, And so I try to do all this situation with a problem with one hand, with a problem with the other leg, or not feeling good. And if you are not able to train that in your life, you will not be able to do it in the competition. I try to make all the situation reality, and if you try to do it all, then maybe you can be the one.
Nothing is coming from the unexpected. Everything has been prepared for that way.
Yeah.
This for me is, when we start to watch some of the great fights, throw World Championship final here, but a common feature as I watched through so many of your matches is the pit bull part of, will take the center, but then aggressively defending the center of the ring and making your opponent work all the time at the end of your front leg as such. So do you think for you, was this something that you did from the beginning, or did you change this way over time?
I don't know. I think I did it from the beginning. Also, I can say always, it was always in my background, like where the king is staying. The king is always in the middle. People are staying around him. So if you want to be the most important, you need to be in the middle. So that was my idea of fighting and everything. So it's like, I need to be in the middle, and I feel it like that. And I'm the one who's gonna lead, because I always say, like, I try to push my opponents that they fight always on the way how I want, not on the way how they fight. So I also say nobody can be the same as me, and I can never be the same as the others. So it just depends which way you're gonna fight, the way how you want, or the way how the opponent wants. So that's like a deep behind.
And you can see that when you spar, because it's very hard for people to settle and get into what they're comfortable with, because you're so much in control that it's very hard for them to be relaxed and to bring the skills that they have and the skills they're comfortable with. So not only with the pressure of competing against a multiple world champion, they also have to compete against somebody who is really the boss in the ring at the moment as well.
Yeah, I think so. I agree with that.
I think for me, what's very interesting about that, though, because we spoke with Neil and with others, we've watched an awful lot of clips going back to Paul Germain, so many of the competitors from the 90s and early 2000s, and that movement that you had in controlling the center, what we would call stalking or hunting, all the time cutting off the space. It's not common to the time. It's much more common now, but I think at the time it was much less common, and I think that's that's why it stands out when you see the videos. There were very few people who were doing what you were doing. More people were I think people were less conscious of the space in the ring that the match was happening. They didn't mind a warning, or they didn't mind leaving the ring sometimes, and they were more looking to get in their combination or their shot. But I think you were very conscious about the position of in the ring. And for me, it's one of the kind of the foundation principles now for teaching the students how to spar. But I think maybe you were one of the early ones to really make it part of the game.
Yeah, I'm happy to hear that. I'm agree with that.
Yeah, we watched a lot of videos, but because when you're doing this every week, you watch a lot of video.
is because back then we didn't have the scoreboards, and we've said this before to people, because you don't see the warnings, you don't see the difference it makes so much, where now it's very visible for people to see, whereas before, and even it was funny when we were looking at some of the clips, when you had people on the edge, even if they had a foot outside, sometimes the referee would still allow it to continue, even though they were out, but they weren't out. Whereas now, if you just have a small bit of your foot out, you're outside and you get a warning.
I agree with that. Also with those things, I'm not so happy. Also with the way how the referee are leading the fight. Sometimes I feel like the referees want to be the most important in the fight. You know, for me, I'm the most happy when I see the referee who nobody see. You know, it's just the referee.
They're in the background.
Not the one that just stop all the time and talking all the time. And then sometimes, especially when I see the team fights, I wrap my head. It's just terrible. I mean, I see that we have 2 minutes of fighting, and then in the end it comes only 1 minute out because of the rest is the warnings and I don't know, talking of the central referee, whatever. I get headache. It's like for me.
And this is the real reason that Master Barada has stepped back from some of the coaching at the championships. It's to save the headache. But for me, when we were watching all of your videos, there was, we've picked out a couple of techniques that kind of stand out, that maybe are trademark, Tomaž Barada, because, you're doing them a little bit differently to what we expect now, definitely, but even differently to what we were seeing from some fighters back then. So maybe Richie put together a little clip, and for me, it's one of the nicest compilations or, highlight reels that I've seen in a while. So maybe have a look at this, and then Richie, you might lead us through the chat on it.
Yeah, cool. So basically what I was trying to put together here is continuation and flow. So basically that what we were talking about earlier, the fact that you continue through, not just one shot like point sparring where you're trying to get the second, third, and the way you can get the turning kicks, especially to the head, is very interesting, that not many people are able to punch and then bring a turning kick, dolio chagi, up to the head like this right here. And the amount of times you were able to find that, it was just incredible. Was that something that you always had in your mind when you went to punch, of trying to find the turning kick as well?
Yeah, I mean, I never want to stop. I just want to go on, So I always feel like when I make one clean point, why I should not continue? Why I should make 2 or 3 or 4 or 4? It's like I don't feel to stop after one. It's like it's just like to go on. So I was training like that, and then I could see that all those clips what they have now on, it's like, it was like that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Adrian, were you going to jump in there?
No, what I was going to say though is just there is definitely a style to the turning kick, particularly when you bring your body off the line of the kick, like that one just there even. Where there's a little bit of a lean. This next one coming up, I think, and the body leans to the side, and it lets you kind of take your head off of the line of your opponent's punches, and the turning kick appears up nice and easy over the shoulder, and it's the balance to be able to continue from that and get the extra shots. And I think that's something that's missing now. The shots aren't thrown in balance as much. They're thrown for speed to make the first contact, but not. This combination is crazy.
How do you do that one?
Sorry, this one deserves watching again because this combination is just crazy. But this isn't something I think that you practice, but the fact that you had the balance to find that combination is awesome.
Yeah, thank you. But honestly, I also practice that. Honestly,
yeah.
I practice that. I try to do this. Also, still now when I do with my students, I still sometimes I pick up some combinations which I did in the past, and it's still nice to see because some of them are still working. Okay, we go much farther. I mean, the Taekwondo is different as it was in the 90s. So there was still some things are coming back, and some things we can still use. So it's like that.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think when you were going these combinations, you were always very tall with your posture. You were never sometimes we see people leaning a lot in different ways, but you were able to carry your yapchagi, your side kick, very tall, and that allowed you to punch correctly, whereas you didn't have to adjust your body, and you were able to punch correctly, which sometimes you see people, they get stuck in half facing, and then they can't punch properly, but you're able to get very, very tall with your side kick, and then if you had to extend to make it long, you could do that as well, like here.
Yeah, Yeah, that's true. I have it quite high, and I was able to kick also with the leg height. So that was the advantage of everything. So yeah, and I can also say that I was really working a lot on this of checking. I mean, also when I started to fight in kickboxing, there was something what was my first kick, which I really destroyed them all. So that in kickboxing, the time when I started in 93, 94, I mean, they didn't know what means the side kick. That was like.
Yeah, they're fighting two full facing for the side kick, really.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think as well with your side kick, it reminds me a little bit of like today when people use yapchagi, it's almost to touch, but your one, you pull your knee back into your body. It's kind of like Julio Carlos does it right now as well at the moment, and he gets a lot of power on it. Like here is a good example, pulling your knee in. Is that something that you always wanted to do? Is like make a lot of contact with your side kick, your first kick?
Yeah, for me I always say that if the side kick is not good enough, you cannot follow. So I still teach like that in the moment now in my gym. I said always, if you make a yapchagi, you need to do it. It's not like just raise the leg to give some, I don't know, fake or something. But if you do the yapchagi, you do it good. And when the yapchagi is strong enough, you can easily continue. Because people will go back, they will make a step back, and then it's the moment that you can make the kick or the punch number 2, number 3.
Yeah, because you've committed their movement on the straight line. You know where they're going to be next. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think I'm wondering as well. Back in the days when you guys started, you and Steph seemed to have a very good yapchagi. But was that something that other people had, or did you bring that to another level?
No, I honestly need to say that I saw the first time that somebody did the yapchagi like I did it. It was Steph. I actually was first time kicked from Steph. I will never forget it. I mean, first of all, when I had the first fight with him in 1990 in Montreal, I was actually a kid. It was first big tournament for me. I never been on the Euros or something like that. And at that time, I even had the problems with Stefan, because I don't know who is Steph. It's they were two the same. I mean, Django and Stefan, they were looking completely the same. They fight same way. One was fighting 54, 163, and that was first time actually on this kind of big tournament and so. And as I start with the competition, I mean, the first fight, second fight, and I went there with 16 years old, fighting for the seniors. It was something like, I never feel it, but I had a really great and super team behind myself. I mean, I trained with the Yugoslavian team, which was known as the strongest team of the world. And I don't know how many times these guys kicked me and punched me, and I was the lightest one in the team. And all the kicks what I got from them, it was like it was hard. I never get easy kick. That time when I started to fight, first time, I mean, when I saw the Koreans, I stepped into the hall where they had the warming up, the Koreans, and I saw these flying kicks and I don't know, double kicks. I never seen that in my life before. I thought, Mamma mia, these people gonna kill me. But when I came to the fight, and when I kicked first fight, somebody with my kick, everybody make it step back. So they forgot already how to kick, Like that, I was following to the finals where I got Stefan. And at that time, I was really fighting more. If I'm honest, I fought with the Oliachagi, punches, and Twichagi. That was it. What I was really able to do. I did some Yapchagis, but was not on the level as it should be. But then I saw Stefan on the other side, and then they said, "Okay, this is your final." I said, "This your Yapchagi. When I'm gonna step in, I'm gonna kill yourself." But honestly, when I got a Yapchagi from Stefan that time, I need to say I was flying back. I mean, he kicked me at least for 1 meter back. I was like, wow. Then I went home and I was thinking, that was something what I really want to learn good. So that was my first inspiration that I started to train with the Yapchagi a lot. And maybe I even started doing a bit different as Stefan did. And I can say that I really spent a lot of time on this Yapchagi. And I can honestly say that already in 1 year time, I was getting much better with the front leg and start to fight a little bit that direction. And but the first inspiration for that, I need to say, was Stefan.
I think there was some conversation about that when Jamie was with the Black Belter podcast was talking with Master Van der Mortel, and he was saying that when he first met you, I think it was at a competition and perhaps in Slovenia. I don't know if it was Slovenia, but that you were competing against each other. And he said at the time it was very strong with the hands, with the Dolio Chagi, but there was no Yop Chagi yet. So it must have been in the same time, or close.
Yeah, first of all, I had a talk with Master Willie, and I said, "Oh, you already missed the time, because that was not the first time when we fought."
How did it go? How did it go the first time?
Our first time was fighting in Germany. There was the team event. He also said it, but that was our first fight. So that was before Canada already. I was really young boy there. They make a lot of guys make jokes with him because I was looking like a little boy, and he had to fight with me with so many experience, and we had a draw. That was the first fight.
Okay.
So that was in Germany, yeah. Then it was Greece, Holland, Germany, and Slovenia, Yugoslavia. So there was 4 best countries that time in the world, not only in Europe. And later on, we fought in Open, Slovenia Open. And actually, I was the time a little bit in '91. I was a little bit on the way. Should I continue with Taekwondo or not? Because I lost the time my coach. I mean, Yugoslavia split on the parts, and my trainer, and I can say not only the trainer, he was also like my dad at the time, Master Nobilo. He was everything for me because he take care of me because I lost my parents, and I was actually living with him. I was training in Zagreb and in Croatia, and just going home for a weekend or something like that. And then when we get a war, I lost him. I mean, and I was still only 16, and then I didn't know where to go, what to do. At the time, I was just looking what I want to do, where I want to go, what if I can continue with the sport. Because when I came back to Slovenia to the club, it was like, difficult to say, but it was that people will understand it easier. It looks like England plays against Slovenia in soccer.
Okay.
Slovenia is not so famous in soccer, and so I mean, I came to the gym, and all those guys who was, let's say, 2 years ago, for me, something they were meaning like, oh, those guys. And when I tried to spar with them, it was impossible because I was 5 levels farther than they were. And that time I was just trying to find something where I want to go. So I went a little bit to boxing and so on. So when I fought with Master Van der Mortel, actually that time I went for the national championship of boxing. It was still the last championship in Yugoslavia. They were just broke, but we were not working together. So I lost there the semi-final. And in the night I stepped on the train in Belgrade, drive all night, and arrived to Maribor at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. And I just went to another tournament, to Slovenia Open. So it was actually the way in at 8 o'clock. So I was not even sleeping, and went to the hall, and I won this elimination fight. And then finally I got Master Van der Mortel. Yes, and I got a lesson. I mean, it was like I lost the fight. So he was really the only one that he beat me in Slovenia. I never lost actually from anybody, and he was the only one. And that was our second fight. And the third fight I won. So always make a joke, have to quit because you know that I'm gonna beat him again.
I think he said something like that as well.
Honestly, I mean, with him, I make really big step. We were really. I cannot say that he was only my trainer. I mean, he was everything. He was a person that all what I had in my heart and my mind, and it was really for me. It was For me, it was a step to become the.
Awesome.
I think as well, though, like it's very important for people who are maybe trying to become a champion understand and see that somebody as great as Tomaz Barada had to go through the difficulty and the adversity at the start. And you said even like when you were with Yugoslavia team and you were the smallest guy and you were almost like getting beaten up by the bigger guys, because people just see the medals and the King of Taekwondo, World Champion, undefeated in professional Wacko, and then they don't see that you need to have that adversity and the hardship to make you a true champion.
But if I look now back to my time when I was competing, and so I think if I had everything what I have now, I mean, I have now my own gym. I can go 24 hours to the gym. I have such a great fighters in the gym. If I had that time, and if I had the money and everything, what is now going on, with my students, I don't know if I was Tomaz Barada like I am now.
Of course.
My way was not like that. I don't know how I could go to all the trainings. If I look now to my daughter, I would do everything for Diana. If she said, "Daddy, can you bring me there with the car? I have training." That's no problem. At the time, I had nobody. I have to just walk or go on bike or whatever. It was like different way. I even didn't know how we're gonna go to the tournament. I honestly say, when I started to work with Master Tomaž Barada, I was working every weekend, or not every weekend, sometimes even every day in the bars. I was just there like a monster. Now I was working on the doors just to collect my money that I could pay all expenses for him and for my team to train. And if I look back, it was really like I learned from that. Because all the money that I earn, I invest in Taekwondo, and that I become who I am. And if I got everything paid, if I get all the knowledge and all experience without anything that I did, I don't know if I was in that way right now. So, and I'm happy for that. I'm happy for it.
Everything shapes us. So
yes.
I'm going to take a different turn here, because in the middle of the conversation we were talking about that in the beginning you had the turn and kick, back kick and punches, and I have a nice little clip here with some of the back kicks, because I think again this is just a shot that most people throw the back kick and nothing follows it, but every time you throw the back kick something is ready in the tank. So I'm really curious to know about your training of the back kick.
That's a nice fight. That was against the world champion hyperweight. Brother.
Yeah, you had some great battles with him.
Yeah, most people want to use the back kick to just defend and then to keep them away, but you want to use the back kick and then go forward again.
Yeah, as I said already before, I always also still teach that now. It's not, by me, the back kick is never finished. You have to follow with the fight. It's like you can never fell in the situation that you cannot continue. It's always like you always need to continue. You always need to be safe. So it's like, but it's nice to see this thing. So you prepare very well, guys.
But for me, it really is a almost like your philosophy about it changes how you perform the technique. And myself and Richie talk all of the time about how there's no perfect technique. There's many different ways to score the point or to train the technique depending on what you want from it, or how you feel as a person. And because you want to be back in the fight, your back kick is different to my back kick, is different to someone else's back kick, because of what you want to do with it. And so, for example, I might be happy to take the back kick and look for a new angle so that they can't keep coming in my direction. Or I might have the back kick so that after some techniques I can exit without losing a score. But in your back kick, it's an opportunity to continue. And I think that changes how you move your feet. It changes the way you position your body. It changes, how you have to have it, in your head about how the technique is going to go. And I think it's a very good lesson that, there is always going to be another, it's the same kick, but because you want something else from it, it's different to everyone or to someone else's version of the kick.
I agree with that. Also, I need to say I did a lot of sparring with one of my best friend, the boxer. He was professional world champion, ITF boxing welter division. He always said to me, Thomas, I spar with I don't know how many boxers, and especially when he was a ITF world champion, then he have a lot of sparring. But he said, to me, it was the most difficult to spar with you, because from you, I never know from which side you're gonna punch, how you're gonna step. I almost think you are dead, and then you give me, I don't know, 2-3 shots back, and that's the way how I was training. I always say I need to kick and punch from every position. It's never finished until the referee says stop, and it split the fighters. So I train also like that. I never train like I go for one point and I keep it. No, until the referee says stop, I tried to be always able to kick and punch.
Yeah, I think the most important thing about that is your feet. You're always on balance. It was never like that you had to move to adjust your feet to do something. It was like you kick, you have your feet under you again. And I think it was like, it kind of goes hand in hand with your posture of you being tall. It was never like you had to move to do something. You were always ready.
Yes, it's true. Always keep the middle weight in the middle. So it's true.
Yeah, and it even changes the, you know, the position that you take your knee in for the side kick and so on. So it does change things quite a bit. With the last thing that I was really looking at is the tempo. So it's, again, looking at the things that you can control. So yeah, normally, okay, the tempo for, you know, a Tomaz Barada fight is, you have to see my hand, a little bit high, but you're able to slow down and maybe relax yourself a little bit without letting your opponent relax. And I think that's very important as a skill. So, you know, you're not working too hard, but your opponent is nervous a little bit, you know, and because they have some tension in the legs, they're getting more tired, you know. And then when you do go, it's very explosive until the referee says stop. So each time you make a score, it's worth more than 1 point.
And normally, yes, it's true. That is really true. I fully agree with that. Also, that was my tactical way how I did the fight. So it's.
There's so many good battles with the brother-in-law.
I always say that he was for me always great to fight. I mean, it was like he was a fighter that he also liked to fight, that I really like. And the most important thing is, even before we became a family, we were always together. No matter that who win or I or he win, it was no matter. We were always feeling great after the fight, before the fight, and I was always happy and pleased to fight with him.
Super.
When we talk about the tempo here and the intensity as well, I think it's very important that your feints and things like that make people nervous, and then it's like you're almost a step ahead, and then you can be in control then again, because they don't know what to move for, they don't know when to do anything. It's like nervous energy, and then you set them up, and then you can bring the intensity when you want to go, and then you're going till the referee says stop.
Yeah. It's still, I can still say that I'm still proud of that now. I'm now not so young anymore, but still, I still spar with all my guys. Just that is not, I'm not the one that I'm only the trainer. I have every day my gloves and the fits on, and we still spar before every World Championship, European Championship, and also when they come back to show them up that they're still not the number one, you know. And they always say to me that they can work with me, but they cannot handle the tempo. I said, yeah, that's something what I wanted to learn. It's for me, I feel like, yes, I can still do it. I still physically fit, and I still like to teach that to my students. That is one of the most important things of myself, and I'm able to fight. I don't know, still, I don't care if you say to me 10 rounds of 3 minutes boxing, I can still do it. It's not that I cannot do it, you know. And the same with kickboxing.
Okay. Yeah, I can't say that. I'm going to put my hand up now and say I can't do 10 rounds. So no problem. I don't think I ever could, to be quite honest. 10 rounds was beyond me for sure. But, of course, you can do it. Like, you don't think about it. When you're doing a sparring training session and you're working with your friends, maybe you do 15 2-minute rounds. It's okay. You do it because, you have not every round is the same. Everyone is different. But, it's super ability to be able to still give a different challenge, or to bring a challenge to your students that they're not used to, that is a test them. And I don't think the tempo is just fitness. I think there's a lot of skill to being able to apply the pressure on and off and keep the person unsettled. You have to know what they want and not let them have it.
Now, also this thing, I think the most important thing is also when I look to a lot of fighters, they are really super good in the trainings, but when they come to the tatami or to the ring, they lose a lot of energy, because it's the different things, now the referee stays around, maybe people are shouting, and so all those things take a lot of energy away. It's like, it is different as you have it in the training. But I can luckily say that I had advantage in that I never had problems with that. I did not care if I fight when there's a lot of people around, if I fight when there's nobody around, if I fight with the heavy guys. That was for me actually the biggest fun. I enjoyed to fight with the hyperweights. For me, that was so much fun, because that I can really punch and kick with the full power. That was really nice. But these things are really important, that you try to practice it in that direction, and then I think you get the things out what I got.
Do you think that you always had that, or was it? Do you think like I know Wacko in the smaller ring and it's extra rounds and more intense? Do you think that helped, or was it something that you had before you started kickboxing?
Okay, when I started with kickboxing, I can say that I become a bit more complete. When I did only Taekwondo, I was more let's say one leg fighter, or I was normally always working with the right front leg, and the back leg was best the left one. But when I started with kickboxing, I start to work also a lot with the front left leg. But now, honestly, if I look now, I don't know which leg is better. For me, it's now the same. It's the same. I have left in the front, right in the front. So I become a bit more complete. And how I came on that? I came on that because the level of the kickboxers, let's say, was technical level, especially of the kicks, was much lower. I could make the kicks there, and I was still with the left leg, which was that time not so good, but was super good for them, you know. And then I practice, and now it's really I don't care which leg I have. It's for me the same. So I also teach all my students. It's like don't think that you only can kick it front, because you never know what kind of fighter you get, and what kind of situation it will come. When you are pushed, you will not be able to stay on the leg which you want, and then you need to kick from the other one. And sometimes I still like to spar with the 3 people in once, that they attack me from all the sides, and that I need to kick from all the sides back. And I always think we need to use everything what we have. So it's not only one hand, not only one leg. We need to do everything what we have. So
yeah, well, if you don't know which leg is best, imagine what it's like for your opponent. Then they don't have a clue.
But it's so true, because go ahead, Tomaž.
Yeah, that I also said, it's you need to always think about the opponent, because every time when you go to the tournaments, when you are on the level, let's say on the top level, everybody's watching. Everybody's watching. So then you have to edit something new, and you must be unacceptable. I mean, you don't make a plan what you're gonna do. So also, if you don't make a plan, they will not make a plan, because they think, okay, Tomaž Barada, he always kick with the right leg. He always attack. He start to attack always same thing with attacking the object with the right leg. And when they looked at all the time, and you always start with it, people gonna learn. But then you change. Then you start to attack with the left, or then you start to move. You just make a pressure with your body. So you have to practice everything. You have to practice everything, because then people get really confused. Like, you know, when you do these kind of things in different ways, then it's very difficult to read your mind. So also I always say, never plan what you're gonna do, because that all the things need to be a reaction. I always teach them, like, if you fell down on the floor, nobody say to you, put your hands in the front. Just do it, because there's reaction. And the same should be in sparring. You never think like, oh, I need to do this kick now, because then you're already too late. It needs to happen.
Okay, but I'm going to take that, and we didn't have the sound on all of the clips, but if you go back to the Marangbong Cup or the King of Taekwondo matches, you have the remote control behind you in the chair, who tells you exactly what shot, usually about half a second after you throw it. So we're calling out our very, very good friend Master Van der Mortel here, but you can hear he's also shouting out here from the background. He's ready for it. So he can't help himself. He has to tell you each thing that you need to do. So how long did it take you to get used to that?
With him, I had sometimes nightmares when he was screaming on me and telling me the things like, I will never forget this, back and up. I was thinking he was screaming on somebody, but he's always up. And when I just look back at the video and I really see I always drop the hand in the moment when I kick or something like that. And he also always say to me, like, you need to calm down and go a little bit more relaxed, just go for the point. And then he pushed me that I went to fight to the point, finding Mamma Mia. That was for me a nightmare, you know. But I learned from that. He was, he know how to do it with me. He know that what I need. And also I need to say, I never have to watch him. I never have to, if I see his eyes and just hear the voice, it could be, I don't know how much noise in the hall, but when he say something, I believe in it, you know. Also, if you should say jump on your head, I think I would do it.
It might happen.
But I trust him, you know.
And this is this is the important thing. This is, and this is what, for me is so important about the word coach and what the coach means, because the coach is a relationship. It's something that you can't just arrive at the side of the ring and be a coach. Being a coach takes a long time to really have a relationship with somebody, and without that relationship, it's it's not really coaching. It's like it's trying to use the remote control, and the remote control doesn't work because it's not connected to the person in the ring. So
I fully agree with that, really. Fully agree. I need to say that I always said, when I started to teach, I thought everybody needs to be the same as me. But later when I teach, I realized that everybody is different. So I have some people that I need to say hard words. Some people I need to work with the gloves. It's like it's really depends who you have on the other side. If you don't know who you coach, better don't coach. I also had some moments that I already stand up from the chair. I said, no, I will not coach anymore because you don't listen to me. If you don't trust me, I will not coach. I had one guy, he was actually also Master European Championship. I know from Ireland people, they really didn't like him. This Lorber, the hyperweight guy from Slovenia. He's a terrible guy, but can you believe that he was fighting also kickboxing, and we had the final semi-final in Turkey, and he need to fight against the world champion. And I tell him everything how he should fight, but every time he made a mistake. So he came out of the first one. I said, listen, I will not sit here anymore. You don't listen to me. So I stand up. I say, I go. Because by the kickboxing, always two coaches sitting. I said, then I just, I come back. But listen, if you don't listen, right away, when you don't listen to me, I will stand up and I will never coach you again. But he listened and he won. He became a Europe champ. And he was crying, thank you. But I said, if you don't have this trust between the fighter and the coach, you can't lead. And also, I think that the coaches don't have responsibility sometimes. They just sit behind somebody and they say, okay, do this. But they even don't know if they're able to do that.
Yeah.
You need to know the fighter well. You need to be prepared on that. The level is so high now that really the small words can change the fight. And it's like that.
And I think it's very important. The coach has to be willing to be wrong also. So sometimes you give the advice and it doesn't work. And this is normal because the other person is intelligent too. They have their own reactions and they have their own coach. Sometimes, and you have to have a strong enough relationship that your fighter can accept that the coach can make a mistake. It's allowed. We can all make mistakes and learn from it and get better.
We can.
So we have go for it, Richie.
From the coaching side, is there something that you had that you do in your coaching now that you didn't really do when you were competing, that you say, okay, this is something very important, but it's not something that you kind of like trained yourself?
Yeah, things are changing. Also. This kind of things, if I look back, I was a fighter that I never know what means injury, what means not feeling good. And I had this kind of things. If I remember time back, how I became a Europe champ with a broken finger, how I was sick in Turkey that I could not even stand up. And when Master Willie said, okay, he will not watch the rest because the number one is in the room. So I just decided, okay, I go to fight. And all those things, I would not do it anymore because the life really changed. And I have to change it also a bit, and I also become a bit more tactical. But still, I'm a little bit from the old school, still a bit, and still try to teach them in that direction. And there are some things which are changing, I think.
Yeah.
But they lead to good stories,
Yeah.
So we have some comments and questions. So maybe we'll have a look at a few of our comments and questions that are coming in. So first of all, we had Master Van den Mortel who came in right at the beginning, our very first comment, and so your old friend and coach. So he's been here all along, so fantastic. We have a regular Damien Carthy. He's training in Taekwondo. He has both of his kids have been on the Irish national team, so just saying hello. And we have from, I don't know if from Russia.
How do you pronounce that name?
Maybe Tomaž can speak Russian, but the question though is, did you have some problems with your knees? And I think he asks later, did you have any problems because of your training in Taekwondo?
No, I'm really proud to say that I never had any injuries. I had only one injury during my competing time that I broke something. It was the right foot. When I make actually Yapjagit, I get broken. That was the year end of '94. That time I will never forget that we had actually in December. It was a nice story. December, Master van der Mortel was by us, and we had a team training, and I kicked, and I feel right away that something is not okay. And he said to me right away, "You will stop now." And during the training, I was thinking, "Shit." Sorry to say, but I continued and I finished the training. And then after the session, we had the event, the best athlete of the year, and we went there. And at that time, I became the best athlete of the city, and we were there. And but I actually could not even walk anymore. But okay, I could not say because of him. She was like, "You will walk like this now." So I was walking normal. I did all the training till the end, and still put my shoes on. Went to this event, and I got I was announced as the best athlete of the year. And then I remember we went to the cinema, and we watched, I think, one movie from Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I just put my shoes off, and that was the last that I could put it on because it was really broken. So that time, yeah, I was quite a while out. I think for 3-4 months, I had gips on. I could not train. So that was the reason that I was not competing in '95, the European Championship. I was competing 93, 94, 96. 97, okay. 98, 99. So only 95, if you look, my results was missing. That was not the Europe Champ. That was because of the injury, because I could not compete. And that was the only injury that I actually had.
So what I have to ask about that one, did you break your foot kicking Master van der Mortel? Because that's happened to people.
No, I did not kick him. I did not kick him. I kicked one of the other guy. Actually, he raised the knee up, and then from the knee was going directly to the elbow. So then it became broken. It was not. But that was actually only injury. All the rest I can be lucky. I mean, I had never something broken. I got cuts on the eyes and stuff, which is actually normal in our sport, but never something really broken.
So this is Finn Martin. He's one of our good young juniors, and he's asking your number one tip or some advice towards winning your first European or World Championships.
You know, I always say I have a lot of trophies and a lot of medals and everything, and a lot of times I get a question, which is the best, what means the most for me, you know? But I always say, if one was missing, I never could reach the top one, you know? So for me, every win is important. Every small medal from the national championship, from the international, from the European, or from the world, it has some special feeling. Okay, of course, when I become first-time world champion, it's something extra. But I mean, there's the road, and you have to pass the road. So you never stop from beginning and you are already finished. No, there is a road, and on the road you have to collect everything. You have to remember everything, and it's always like that. You go up to the mountain, and you also go down of the mountain. So my career was like that. So I remember all the fights. I still remember the fights from the '90s, from the first European Championship, from the last European Championship. I still remember everything. Sometimes I talk with my students, and I still tell the stories which they cannot believe. I can also say to all my world champions or European champions, I made 33 world or European champions in my gym, 33. Wow. And still, I remember all of the fights. And sometimes I said, okay, Alex, you won. You remember that fight when you won the 97 in the semi-final, how it was, and in the final when you fight against that one, then I forgot that. I know. It's like that. So I cannot say which is the most important. I mean, you have to respect all the medals, and that's all the part of the work which we all do.
So Finn, buckle up and enjoy the journey. That's the thing.
Enjoy the journey,
So our same question. Unfortunately, we can't pronounce the name. What do you think about Tull? Had you participated in pattern competition?
that I'm always afraid to get this kind of question. No, honestly, I speak honestly. You know, I always when I do the things, I want to be the number one. I never train something that just to participate. Or if I go somewhere, if I do anything, something, I want to be the best. And in the tool, I need to say that I had no background of that. Also, when I started training with Master Tomaž, he was super good in the tool, but I did not feel that I enjoyed that so much. When I don't enjoy that so much, I know that I cannot be the number one. Because if you want to be the number one, you have to wake up with the thinking of that, what you're gonna do. You have to go to sleep with that, and that was with the sparring. But with tool, I never had it. So that was, I just do the tools because I need to do it. Also now when I'm instructor, I need to know the tools. But I'm not the one that I can be very proud on part of the tool, how I do it and the way how I did it. I also never competed. I did actually once in the team event, and yeah, I was the one who missed. So that's like that.
It's important also to be realistic, though. I think that's also a skill. Damien is asking, who is your toughest opponent at Europeans or Worlds, and were you ever complacent going into any other fights?
Yeah, that's, you know, I get once this kind of question about one journalist, and he asked me the same question, and I said, that's myself. And he looked at me, no, I mean, who was your opponent? I said, no, it was myself. And I'm still the same opinion. You know, I fought many good fighters. A lot of people I know, they expect, I would say, my brother Stefan Tapilato, because we fought so many times. I don't know who, but, you know, they were just the fighters, the same as me. But if I believe in myself that I did everything what I need to do, then I feel that I'm the number one. So myself, I know the best. I know what I can do, but I'm not able to do. If I can beat myself, I can beat them. So that is also the message which I always say, don't think about the other people, think about yourself. Beat yourself, go over yourself, and you're going to be the number. So I respect many fighters I respect, and but not that I say there was, yeah.
So we have the most important message of the night. This is from Tyra, so it's good. Just going back to Master Nobilo, so we have a question about your first coach in Taekwondo. So is there anything else you want to tell us about your training or your time with Master Nobilo? I mean, you spoke quite a bit about him in the beginning, but you know, what was training like when you were traveling to Zagreb and so on, maybe?
Yeah, I start here in Maribor. There was his name was my first trainer was Marian Pirik, my first coach. But I still respect him. You know, I still help him a lot in the life. He had a lot of problems after it, and some injuries, and going in the wrong direction. But I start with him. So I always say he was my first trainer.
Yeah.
And many times he was so proud when I was fighting, especially these professional fights in kickboxing. He came to the events, and once he came to me and said, you see who you are now. And I said, yeah, also part of that. And he said, yes, of course, I'm the one, because you teach me everything what I should not do in my life. Then he looked at me, what do you mean? I said, yeah, you teach me everything what I should not do in my life. That was all the dirty stuff what he teach me now. Also, this kind of circus you need to have. Somebody need to tell you that you are not allowed to kick somebody when he turns his back, or you cannot fight like you fight on the street, or you cannot steal the things. Somebody need to tell you those things, you know. And he was the one that he did all those things. I was happy that I just learned from that I should not do it in my life. But I was very lucky that I got Master Nobilo, who took me as, let's say, his son, because, you know, I had no father anymore, no mother. And then he really took me like that. And I really learned a lot from him. He gave me, the life in sport, and the way how I should be. And also his personality was, he was he was very high educated lawyer and also really super good in sport. And I'm really proud that I could start to train with him. But actually that was very short. It was 2 years, and in these 2 years I got really the first basic. But I'm really proud, especially maybe this spirit, what I said before, that I was a person that I never step back, because all Yugoslavian team, they were like that kind of fighters. So I think this character I got really from all the future things I learned from Master Van der Mortel and the way in my life.
Super. We have greetings from Honduras. So nice to know that there are people tuning in from all over the world. That's always nice to see. We also have one of your very close students.
That's I need to say before was Tyra. That's of course my love and my sweet daughter, and which I'm very proud. And when I see Giga Zagoransky, that's also one of my students. He's also a European champion, and actually he's a boyfriend for my daughter. So he's also to me like a second son. And I love this boy. I love him.
He has to be a brave boy, because it's not easy to when dad is Tomaž Barada, or when your girlfriend's dad is Tomaž Barada. I'm sure. So good job using. So from Master Adrian O'Mahony here in Ireland, very precise and clear scores, excellent. And he also added that you were very innovative throughout your career and a great fighter. So I think we agree for sure. We have also just a little, exactly, and
it's another one from the team,
and Sven.
That's my team that I really say that I'm really unhappy in the moment that I could not let them fight, because I think this the team that they were also, all those 3 guys was in the team who became the last European champions, and they deserve this year, last year, to become the world champions in the team. But I'm very sad that they have no competitions, but I'm happy that I could keep them all the time together, that they train all the time of the corona, and they were able to train every day, and I'm really proud of the team. And I honestly say that, and he will be the first one now who will hear that. It's hard for me to say, but that's my last team that I will teach. As personal, it's like I made a decision that it's the last generation that I work with it. When they will become once seniors, I said that in 2 years, then it's mine. I will not teach them anymore like that, like I do now. I do with them every day. They train every day with me, in the morning at 7 o'clock, and then in the evening. But I have some other plans for the after 22, and I think I will not be able to teach every day with them anymore. But I'm proud of them.
I'm sure they will be in capable hands, and I'm sure that it's going to be exciting, whatever your next set of plans are. But they've been fortunate, and hopefully they're enjoying their journey. We have some greetings from Greece, and Socrates is asking, what was the key for you when facing taller athletes?
As I said before, when I went to the fight, I did not care if somebody is bigger, somebody is smaller, somebody is heavier, or he's Asian, or he's from Africa, or whatever. I don't care. Just let me fight. Just let me show my skills, and I really don't care. I just fight my way, and I was always proud to fight with the heaviest guy, as I said before, with the tallest guy. It was always nice to see them how they fell on the floor. It's a little longer way, and
takes longer to fall.
But it's just, I would say it one more time, it's important that you believe in yourself, that you believe in your skills, and no matter who is on the other side, if you have a try on the trainings to fight with the taller guys, and you see you're able to do, if you have if you have a moment that you can try to spar with the left guys, with the right guys, so it's fight with everybody, and when you are doing with everybody, then it's really easy to fight with them.
It's definitely a question that comes up for us the whole time, because it seems to be it's a basic thing that you can understand why it's challenging, but you have to get used to it. And we also have some some watchers from Argentina as well. So, you know, for me, I have to say it's been a very interesting chat, and I think we've learned an awful lot as well about you know, finally Ursha has joined the chat. So Ursha is a good friend of ours on the channel. So you know, great lady, and a very, very proud student as well of Tomaž Barada. So good that you were able to join us this evening. But that is all the questions from the chat.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your knowledge, and it was good to look back at your clips. I don't know if you've seen them all recently, or I'm sure it's nice for you to look back and to watch them.
Yeah, thank you, Richie, also for all the things that you send me over, because I will also use it now on my Instagram. I started Instagram, guys.
You started Instagram, so you got to check out everybody. So go follow him on Instagram. He's new. Where have you been all the time?
Exactly.
But really true is my daughter said that is really time before we did this seminar with the 6 trainers of what we did the last seminar. The time my daughter said, "Daddy, you need to put something by yourself." Then I finally decided I made this Instagram, because I got already some messages from the people that we are in 21st century and I still have no Instagram. It's really true. Yeah. I have Instagram, it's myself, so I'm not so perfect yet, but yeah.
Now you have something to put on there.
Sharing all the training, and there's lots of videos you've been having up the last few days, so it's great for people to see that, especially motivation for people who can't train right now. It's good to see what you're doing and to share Taekwondo for other people. And of course, as we can see on the screen, before we finish up, it would be great for you to talk about the World Cup that was postponed last year because of COVID, but we hope to have it in 2022.
Yeah, I need to say that I was really sad when I have to postpone this World Cup, because there was really a lot of energy and time investing in that, and I was believing that would be one of the biggest championship what we ever had in history of Taekwondo.
Oh, for sure.
And also the plays were beautiful, and but it's postponed. I really hope that things will get normal back in the following year, so in next year that we can make the tournament what we really expect. And I really promise to all of you that if the things will happen, if the situation will be as we hope, I believe that we will still make the best tournament whatever happened in the history. And yeah, I really hope that I will see you as much as possible there.
Oh, well, we'll be there for sure. There's no question. We'll definitely be there.
And if I can take just in the end 1 minute, I just want to say, as you all know, I'm also the board member of ITF, and I can give you a guarantee that I will fight always with my heart, that we will try to bring as soon as possible the competitions back to all of you, because I think that's something what we really miss the most. And I always say that Taekwondo is not only the art, it's also a sport. So we need the competitions. We need to go back to the tatamis. We need to start to see each other. And I really hope that even this year, with all the situations, that we will still try to run the European Championship, because all the other tournaments are going on. I know for myself, I will go to Tokyo, where it's the Olympic Games. So I also will go in 2 weeks' time in the European Cup of Kickboxing, just to bring my students somewhere to fight. And I really will do everything that people from ITF will realize that we need to do everything if it is possible to run the tournament, because
absolutely
that's something what we are doing. You can always count on me. I will be the one who will always push for that, and I'm not so political person as I am for this.
Well, you have 100% support from us. That's definitely our area as well. So we're really, really happy to hear that. So again, big thank you from me, and I'm sure from Richie as well, for your time.
Thank you so
much. Look, I really hope to see you again in person very, very soon, and hopefully at a competition where we belong.
Thank you very much, and one more time, thank you that you do the job what you do, because I think all the people who are practicing Taekwondo and also other sports are really pleased that they can see this kind of things what you are doing. So thank you for all your work.
Thank you. Everybody, we will see you on Tuesday night.
Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Bye now.
See you.